Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Huda Beauty, which I think I've said in the past that I won't buy things from her somehow. Like, I think there's some controversy with her like baking powder, and then there are things about different issues that I've seen. That's why I didn't buy her products, as well as like her claim to be like faux mings, kind of like lashes. Is it her lashes? I think it's her lashes, where some of them have mings where they claim her where there's a controversy where it's like, is it vegan or cruelty free? I don't kind of remember that really clearly, but today we're going to try her products and see, is it good, is it bad, because the brand is kind of popular, kind of controversial with her eyeshadows. But so today we're going to talk about the Huda Beauty foundation and her eyeshadow palette. This one is the Desert Dust eyeshadow palette. It claims to be a high pigmentation, easy to blend, talc-free eyeshadow, 4 ready to layer texture, 8 butter mattes, 6 pressed pearls, 3 duochromes toppers, and then 1 daring glitters, which this is not my first impression, definitely. So, and this foundation is a velvety full coverage foundation, so good you might delete your photos editing app. And I've tried this yesterday and it's quite good. I don't know how long it wears, but today, because I don't like the video outcome, so let's try it again. So this won't be a wearing test, but still we will try to apply this and see how it feels on the skin. So today I will prime it with the e.l.f. primer, which is one of the best things that I've ever tried. So this is the OG version, which is slightly pink, and then there's the matte version, which is white, and then there's the shimmer version where it's yellow, I think. Never tried the shimmer one because I don't like shimmery base, but I kinda like the matte base, and I really love the OG one. Still haven't had the time to like do a full-on wear test with the OG one, not the OG one, the mattifying one. So after I prime my skin, let's weigh it and let it sink for a bit, and then half of my face I will use a brush, half of my face I will use a sponge. So there's a sticker there, and it says to use 1 to 2 pumps to get full coverage. And yesterday I tried that, like half a pump, full pump for half of the face is really full coverage, but it's difficult to control the pump. This is a plastic packaging, which is cheap. I say it's cheap, but I feel like it's, you want the product to be expensive, not the bottle itself. So the money to the product, not to the packaging. It has a really baby doll like scent, like it's a bit liquidy, and it has that baby doll fresh scent. So it is fragranced, not slightly, it's definitely heavily fragranced. So I'm using a brush to apply this now. As you can see, I've like still quite a bit left on my back of my hand, but it's really covering and masking my face really well already. Kind of streaky when you use a brush. Everything is streaky when you use a brush, but if you but if you blend and then press it back in, that's the way to use to get rid of those like pesky streak marks. Okay, my hair is stuck. Unstuck. You can see the difference is that this is neutral, quite yellowish, which my neck is slightly darker, but that's what you get. I don't try to match my neck because it's a bit dark. But IRL it kind of looks great, I feel like. This is shade 240N Toasted Coconut. I feel like 300 shade Latte might be a bit more of my like face shade, but I feel like when I use face shade, usually it will look a bit orange on me. So I will apply this to the extra bit to the place where I get a lot more discoloration, like my cheekbones, slightly layering this, and my mouth area as well. I feel like one pump is more than enough, but it's not cakey. For now, you can definitely see the streaks, and because I wear a mask today, I can see there's like indent on my face. Okay. It definitely sets kind of really not matte, but very velvety, very like demi-matte, kind of like the finish of that. So this is how it looks with the brush, and let's try this with the sponge. So I wet the sponge. I will use the butt. Yesterday when I tried this with a sponge, it definitely looks a bit lighter. And I would say that it's a bit easier to apply it with a sponge because it spreads really quickly. So here is kind of like how quickly I can apply this with a sponge. The brush side kind of looks darker, but my sponge side kind of looks lighter. Maybe it's because I feel like it deposits a little bit more pigment on this side than on this side because the sponge kind of absorbs like the liquid, and it diffuses a little bit more foundation, so it looks a bit lighter. Even though yesterday I wait for it to set for a bit, it didn't quite dry down, and there's still a bit left here. The finish is really nice. It doesn't really feel really thick. Kind of still smelling the foundation. It's a bit more. It's better than smelling Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. Like that one is strong, but I feel like this one smells kind of sweet but annoying at the same time. Well, we still have a bit of things to do. So the next step is I will be using Fenty Beauty's setting powder to set my face. I'll be using the brush to apply the powder. So after setting the face, I still feel like this side is slightly darker than this side. For some reason, sponge and brush react a bit differently. So there's still, I feel like I see this on the screen but not IRL in real life. So after setting the face, I'll be using the Hourglass ambient light palette to see how the foundation reacts with the bronzing and highlighting and blush. So I will take the bronzer to bronze the face. So after applying the powder, it doesn't grip or grab onto like the powder, it glides smoothly onto the skin. And then I'll put on the glitter blush in this shade. So knock off the excess and then just I love this palette because it's kind of like subtle, but you can also really pile the color on. It's looking really smooth on the skin, really nice. So overall for now, looking at in this screen, the color difference is slightly less drastic because I have bronze and blush, but I can still see this side is slightly more brown than this side. So for the next step, we'll be using this palette. We won't be using the glitter shade because, well, tragic happens and it kind of hurt my eyes. Not really painful, but it's like glitters all over my face. So I'll be priming my eyes using the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Eden. Slapping this on with a brush. I think she has eyeshadow primer as well, but budget limits, we'll get something that we need rather than something that I have a lot of, which I have a lot of foundation as well, but I kind of want to try a new one, but I don't want to try a new eyeshadow like no eyeshadow primer because I have a lot to use. So this palette, I've like mentioned how many shades it has. You can see the glitter fall out. Like you can see the glitter fall out. Kind of messy. Iffy about that. But let's try some of the shadows again. I tried the shadow yesterday, it's quite powdery. Now we'll be using the shade Eden. I like powdery, kind of like matte shadow shades because they're quite easy to control. And they're usually more impactful than the ones that are really stiff or not as powdery, but sometimes they could be really chalky as well. Chalky and chalky. So not really impactful, but enough, more than enough. And then I will use the shade Amber to deepen out the crease, this shade. And then we will place the color first on the outer corner and then buff this out with a blending brush. Yesterday when I tried this, it kind of like stays where you put, but today I'm trying this, it kind of does blend out, which is way better. Maybe I was like in a really bad shape yesterday, don't know. Damn. So after just slightly having blending out the crease, giving myself a little bit of shade, so now I will be trying some of the shimmer shadows, not the glitter one. I'll be trying the purple ones. Usually they're quite difficult to make, so I will try Twilight and Royal, these two shades. So I'll be applying Royal on the in the middle, and then the inner corner I will use Twilight. So I will use the brush first, and then I will use my fingers. Oh, this one is nice. Royal picks up. Okay, this one is pretty. You can see it kind of doesn't show up. This one is nice. I feel like this one, if you wet this, it will be prettier. Pretty. And then I will use the same brush on Twilight, which is chunkier. It's a bit more iridescent, I would say. I feel like you need to build this up a bit more. This might be a top coat shade, I think. Yeah, it feels like a top coat shade. Kind of okay. And then now I'll be using the shade called Huda. I don't know how to say the word. This shade, okay. This color. To use a pencil brush or a really dense brush, and then to pack the color there. Don't swipe it, still put it on. And then use a blending brush. Preferably clean. This one isn't, but it's fine. To just clean up the shape. Slightly soften the edge. It does blend out a bit, but it does hold in place, which I kind of like. So using this dome shape brush again, knock off the excess and then slightly align the under eyes only 1/3 of the outer corner. I feel like I need a wing liner for this one somehow, even though I suck at doing wing liner. So please hold the call while I try to do a wing liner. Okay, I find my liner. It's the e.l.f. one. Possibly I don't wear eyeliner that much, so let's see how much I suck at it. Kind of cheated a bit, only did the wings and not the inside. It's I have a difficult eyelid shape, let's just say that. And I'll put on some lashes. Not literally, but let's face it, this one is one of the best ones. This is the Too Faced Damn Girl. I want to say eyeshadow, it's like mascara. So jam this good stuff to my eyes. This kind of just makes your lashes so much fuller and bigger. And the impact? Dramatic. Let's just swipe a little bit on, and our brows are disappearing from the frame, and let's finish up the brows and lips. So let's finish up the brows and lips, and let's go to the conclusion. So makeup is done. I put on a beige brow, dip brow gel and the clear brow gel, and I'm using Too Faced Multi Lips using the shade Sellout. Not really the shade for this, but well, that's what you get from me. Brows are strong, which I like. This foundation kind of is a bomber. I quite like the coverage. Kind of look so flawless that it really takes away everything that I have on my face. Don't quite hide a beard, but I'm fine with that. I don't really need a concealer with this as well because it's so full coverage. If you use like a lighter layer, you might need a bit more coverage. Well, let's see up close. So it's kind of masked looking when you look really closely. The pores are covered up really nicely, but it's kind of breaking up on my nose because my nose is sweating like profusely, if you can see. But we can always slightly tap, and it's looking new again, kind of looking splotchy on the nose. But it's looking quite nice around the pores. It doesn't give you extra texture, but I think the under eyes, for the under eyes, if you're really dry, I really think that you should use like a bit more hydrating concealer that doesn't really dry your under eye out for that, because it's looking a bit more cakey than I want. It's not really cakey, this foundation. This foundation is really nice. It doesn't cling on the powder. It's that really velvety finish that I feel like velvety finish kind of makes you look a bit more cakey, a bit more dry, and there's a bit of extra texture on your skin, but this one looks quite smooth, quite like it. And you can see the glow on the skin. It's not really super matte. If you really want this to be really matte, you have to really like press the powder in your skin. The eyeshadows, kind of like the metallic shade. The mattes are fine. Haven't tried the really colorful ones, but I still think they're looking great. But the top coat shade, I kind of want a bit more impact on the top coat shade, which if you look really closely, it's that inner corner shade, or that iridescent shade. I think the Makeup Geek one that I've bought, I can't remember what's the shade it's called, but that's outside the conversation because it's discontinued, and that one is much more pigmented and powerful looking. My liner game is not good, you can see the dot. Overall, I quite like the products that I've tried. I think they're good. The eyeshadow palette, I need a bit more try. The foundation, I have to wear this out to really know how long lasting it is. But for the temperature in Hong Kong now and the humidity, I feel like this kind of will melt off my skin if I wear this all day long, and if I wear a mask it definitely will come off. But if you are someone that lives in a dry climate, I think this one will kind of work. And for me, I feel like this is like a foundation where you try to demonstrate an eyeshadow, you demonstrate something, and you won't use it like during the day. Or this is like a night out foundation where, well, I don't ever go to night out not wearing this makeup. Maybe once and I get sick. Overall, Huda Beauty, I feel like the foundation is like a win for me. I kind of really like this, how it looks, even though, okay, I point up some flaws on something that I don't like, but I mean, it's not a perfect product. If there's a perfect product out there, then I would be just using that. It's out there. It's called the Born This Way foundation, or it's called the It Cosmetics CC Matte. Well, these are the perfect products, but this one is like a bit full in coverage. Like, you really don't see any redness. You don't really see anything. Other than that, I feel like the eyeshadow, the quality is, if you put things into 3 categories, like drugstore, mid-range, where you put this, where like brands like Urban Decay, Too Faced, or like kind of like other like MAC, Clinique, like those kind of mid-range. And there's like the high-end brand where Clé de Peau, La Mer, kind of like range. I feel like this one is like something that's like a high-end quality where you expect a lot of pigment, really great on the skin, feels nice, not masky, very nice coverage, and I think the lasting power, can't say for now, but I feel like it's not the longest lasting foundation that you will ever try on, but this is something that's on the upper mid-range. For the eyeshadow, I feel like it's a bit finicky with like their quality, because some people love this and some people definitely don't love this. And I feel like if you are trying to make an eyeshadow, you should definitely don't try to make pressed glitter eyeshadows. Like, let's just face it, pressed glitter just doesn't work. And I feel like if you are trying to make like topper shades, definitely I feel like topper shades kind of defeats the point of eyeshadow, where you're not blending the shade, you're putting it on top of some eyeshadow to transform the color. Where I think if you make it a slightly more opaque, it's still controllable, but when you thin it out before you apply this on, and it's kind of thin, where you can see the topper shade just doesn't have that much of an impact on my eyes. And I feel like ABH eyeshadows kind of like are like the upper mid-range quality, and Natasha Denona definitely is a high-end, high-range, high-quality eyeshadow, and this feels like more of like that mid-range starter, kind of like easy to try on, not easy to try on, but it's like for what it is cost, I would call the quality to be on the lower end of the mid-range price, even though it's not really mid-range. It's kind of expensive. Well, overall it's a bit all over the place, like with two things that I've tried, one that I really love, one that I'm on the fence on, but definitely better than the Urban Decay Ultraviolet eyeshadow that I've tried on lately. So thanks for watching the review, kind of a review. I know. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I know you have a lot of opinion and you want to watch my channel, just subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.